What is good, guys? Haas here, and for this topic of I'm a Yugituber, I'm going to be talking about buying for the future. Now, what I mean by this is that if you look at all the meta decks out there, there's always that one boss monster, there's that one big card that's worth like a lot of money. For example, you have Bujins, which their big card is Yamato, which is about $35 to $40. Now, I know all of us don't have money to spend $120 on a playset of just of Yamatos, which is ridiculous because you could build an entire deck out of 120 bucks. Actually, a few decks out of 120 bucks. But what I mean by buying the future is if you look at the Bujin deck, it's basically I'm going to be talking about Bujins this entire episode because I've been wanting to make Bujins, but with Yamato not getting a reprint for another while, it's already been announced in the tins that he will be getting a reprint, but it will be a while before we get those tins. But if I'm just looking at a deck list on my phone right now, you run like 2 Mikazuchi, which is right now it's $10. So spending $20 for 2 Mikazuchis and just setting to the side for a while is not that bad. Then you have the triple Yamatos, which are getting a reprint. So just wait to get Yamato if you're gonna make Bujins. 2 turtles, they're commons. So if you don't have a common, I mean they're like 25 cents. So they're not expensive. So there's an example of the not expensive. You have 2 hairs, which are like $2 a piece. They really went down in value, so you can pick some of those up. Then you have a centipede, which is another common, which is really easy to get. Bear, which was reprinted in the last tin, in the last tins. So it's like 40 cents. So it's easy. Quilladin, Bujingi Quilladin, is about $2 right now. At least for me, it is. For my local, it's about $2. And Bujingi Crane is actually a rare that's probably not even worth $1 in some places. Then, no, there are some cases where, you got like effect failures or like some pricey spell cards like Lance or Kaiser, Coliseum, Pot of Duality. Now, for me, I have about 12 decks, actually 8 decks just sitting in the corner of my room right now where they're all complete. Every single card in there is in there, so I have all my effect failures, all my Pot of Dualities. I have everything I need. So if I want to take from them, I can, but I know some of us aren't as lucky of having those cards like around. Like you usually don't have like 3 Pot of Dualities just sitting around unless you already have them, and if you don't, they are pretty cheap. I think they're like $4 or $5 a piece depending on where you buy them, which again for budget players is pretty expensive. For me, I would not spend $5 on a Pot of Duality, but that's just me. I usually get all my cards. I usually get all my effect failures, Pot of Dualities, like all that kind of stuff from my friends. They're very nice to me. I trade them all kinds of stuff just so I can get really good staples. I have 4 decks in the makes right now, which Bujins is going to be one of them as soon as I get to my locals this weekend. But I'm just saying, if you look at it, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is an expensive sport, but when you look at it in the long run, everything's going to get a reprint sooner or later. So invest in the future. So if you know the cards are cheap right now, except for that one main core card, you should go ahead and buy them. Mikazuchis, like I said, $10 a piece. I mean, splurging 20 bucks on 2 of them, or sometimes you only need 1. And that's like one of the main engines of the deck, just having 1 or 2 of them. So I'm just saying, even though a card's boss monster is really expensive, you should still not be hesitant to buy the cards because sooner or later it'll get a reprint. So if you just have them, just laying around in a deck box, you're just waiting for it to get a reprint. Reprint's announced, you're like, yes, I already have all the cards to make it. I don't need anything else. I don't have to go out and buy it out now when they're really expensive because you bought them when they were cheap. So I'm just saying, invest in the future because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is one of these games that are just unpredictable. You never know what they're going to reprint, and when they reprint something you actually need, you're just like, yes! I mean, how did everyone feel about the Bear reprint? I mean, I went and got 3 of them when they first came out. But Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a fun sport. It should not, just because price-wise, it should not discourage you from, trying to make a really good meta deck. So thank you guys for watching, and Haas out.